Let's actually introduce these boys in here, man. On Team Christina, we have ourselves Wolf. Is just sticking to Beast Mastery. He is still BM. He is still Kyrian. We got ourselves Zaliha. I don't know what covenant you are, but we got ourselves Sub Rogue. We got Christina as per usual. Try to kite me as a monk. And we got Advo. Is he still Demonology? He is still Demonology. Versus Team 1, we got ourselves Vibing. We got ourselves Hipper. I guess it's Hipper, right? Like a hip. Oh, the gloves, the belt. Is that Legion? It looks like a Legion Paladin, like last year raid, right? He got like himself like a bronzish look going on. I do like it. We got ourselves a Sophable there. We have ourselves Titanius as well as Arhi Orc sticking to their guns as a Fire, Feral, as well as Elemental. I wanted to say Fury because I felt like Fire, Feral, Fury. I feel like that would have matched together. Looks like Wolf is going to be first up. Versus Titanius the Feral, dropping down the flare, expecting the cat to approach him. Are we going to be seeing any freezing traps or anything? It looks like he's just kind of saving those freezing traps for later. Most of the hunters usually just pop down a freezing trap on top of themselves. But maybe they're expecting for the Feral to go for the opener, expecting to live it, and then using freezing traps to CC afterwards. Maybe go for a stun, force a trinket, freezing trap, reset. A freezing trap, force a trinket, stun, get aggressive. It looks like Wolf is going to go for a defensive in the opener. Stun onto Titanius. Getting those pets beefed up. The pets do take a little bit of a ramp up to get their damage rolling. But once they do, we've noticed that in the last duels on an A as well as a U, there's quite a lot of damage behind it. Titanius just getting blasted by those pets. Absolutely decimated. Kill shot. What? Wolf just took him out in a single bursty setup. He just needed a little bit of a sustain. And there it goes. Just taking the Feral out of the game just like that. Beastmaster hunters, man. Since their legendaries got buffed, pretty sure Wolf's pets are just doing more crit damage if he's running that one legendary with the crits. Hip is going to be up next. Leaping in with Condemn. Had Reflect available a little bit early in case a freezing trap was waiting for him. Big Condemns. And just continue to just keep slapping Wolf. Every time he gets a Condemn, just a good portion of his health just chunks out. You just see red flying out of him. And Wolf is going to put him on ice for a second. Trinket coming out for a hip. And those pets are not even going to be able to stun. Mostly because the stun CD is up. Cutting intimidation for a bit. Actually, it looks like it's back up. I didn't realize a whole 45 seconds or was it a minute? I don't remember, I guess. I guess it's 45. It looks like Hip is starting attention onto the pets. Not a terrible idea as a warrior versus a hunter to eliminate the pets if at all possible. Pop and parry for those pets. You know what? That's usually a weird move. However, for Beastmaster Hunter, that's where like 90% of the damage comes from is the pets. So parrying the pets, while it seems like a weird idea, not the worst. And oh, what? I feel like that resonating arrow shouldn't have tagged him. I feel like he was way out of reach. By the way, it's red. You can see enemies resonate arrows and a few other effects. Apparently, they're a different color now. Wolf is just going to ignore all the damage from Arhi or completely. Arhi went in with the biggest setup possible, but looks like maybe the pet sack absorbed majority of that combustion damage. And looks like Wolf was able to survive the massive combustion for now. Feign death for a second, try to get himself out of that freezing ring of frost. I wanted to say freezing trap, but out of the ring of frost. It looks like Wolf is still under quite a bit of pressure. Does interrupt Arhi on fire. And Arhi is blinking in, trying to go, I think, for a breath. Just continue to get this fire blast, pyro blasts in. No trinket for the mage. So Wolf can actually take the situation under control for a moment. And still Arhi just continuing to blast the big damage at the hunter. Trying to stay aggressive with him. Trying to interrupt him as best possible. It's going to go for the poly. Maybe a G-Pie right after. Wolf is going to be able to have himself a bit of a reset with health. There's going to be quite a lot of damage out of Arhi afterwards. Does go for Feign Death. Still G-Pie connects, but is still Feign Death in order to deal with some of the damage from Arhi. And as long as Wolf has the pets on Arhi, he'll be in a good spot. Looks like maybe only one pet. What's happened to the other pet? Did he kill it? Or maybe the pets got fused into one. That's probably what happened. It looks like Wolf does get himself a camo. Arhi does go for a bit of a reset. And Wolf is going to be able to get the opener. Needs to get the Hunter's Mark onto Arhi. Brings the trap, stops in his place. Super unfortunate for Arhi, but he's in a good spot. He can get himself line of sight. It looks like maybe he's not even going to go for that. Looks like he's trying to stay aggressive. Freeze onto all those pets. Shifting power available. Wolf can interrupt it for now. And Arhi's just a blink away from a breath and getting CC line up. Is going to get the G-Pie out of it most likely. Trinket for Wolf, though. Interrupted it as fast as he can. Arhi actually taking a little bit of damage, a little bit of pressure. And I don't know what happened with his ult at the time. Might have actually got cleaned out by Wolf. Might have got trank shotted. There goes the intro by Wolf. Stopping the freezing trap. I mean, the free Ring of Frost. Gonna be those pets just mauling Arhi. And does have to go for an ice book. Those pets are gonna be chipping their teeth against the ice. But Arhi does get to use the defensive while Wolf has a lot of damage rolling up. There's honestly not a terrible idea. Does he see the pets back there? He did. The better he controls the pets, the better spot he's going to be against Wolf, because Wolf, majority of his damage is literally just pets. Just so much of his damage is pets. He does have to get those skill commands, but those pets right now are just mauling through him. That shield is not going to hold on too long. Needs to connect with a hunter ASAP if he wants to make any damage happen. He can't just stay over there with the pets by himself. Freezing trap, and Arhi does choose to trinket it. Trying to stay aggressive versus Wolf. Ring of Frost and a Poly. I think the Ring of Frost was mostly for the other pets. There goes the Meteor and a combustion by Arhi. Wolf does go for Fade Death for a second. Has to go for a turtle since he can go for a pet sack for that combustion. And Arhi, if anything, at least forced a big cooldown out of Wolf. We'll see how well it's going to work out for Wolf, though. That is a 3-minute cooldown down. Still has pet sack in the future. No combustion to deal with for a while, but Arhi does play the cooldown reduction as a Night Fae. Ulti time available is going to be safe. Try to see if he could clean off the ulti time. Did not happen. And Wolf still has all those pets over there with Arhi. Just needs to give himself a nice resonating shot. And he'll be in a good spot, man. He can actually be in a really good spot. Breath of his pets. Looks like Arhi is backpedaling out of there. And as goes the resonating shot, interrupt him on a Ring of Frost. Deja vu situation. Arhi, though, no ice block this time. Just has the smallest smidge of health. Finally got himself a Ring of Frost. Those pets are definitely going to get themselves CC'd if they run into it. That's exactly what Arhi wants. Kill shot can still come out from the hunter. Does get the kill shot. Proccing out the cauterize Arhi. Not in a great spot. Shields are back up. And then goes Shift and Power trying to gain the shields ASAP. Yo, Henry, can we get a hashtag Henry chat for that dono, my man? 5 big you bones. Thanks so much. Come on, the BM hunters, dude. Yeah, I feel like Wolf is going to be just fine against this mage so far. He's been able to hunt them down. The only thing that's scary about a mage in every single time is the massive combustion damage. That's the only thing we are to be afraid of. And Arhi, though, he doesn't look like he's given up just yet. Probably onto Wolf. He does have a trinket out of it if he wants to. There goes the freeze. Not on the pets, though. Kind of messing up and not going for the G-Pipe. Big combustion coming out. Wolf should be able to deal with this. Does have a pet sack available. One of his pets is frozen. The pet that was trying to give him the pet sack, I guess. Resonant Air is available. Arhi should take a lot of damage here. Does have all the time. As long as he doesn't have his all the time ripped off him, he might be okay. And it's going to be held back, if anything. It looks like he is going to get the all the time. Trying to use that mobility to catch up to Wolf. Does hit him with a breath. I think maybe mid-disengage should get available for Wolf. And Arhi tried to go for the cooldown reduction stun. Does still have shields. The pets are just tearing into him. G-Pie tried to come out, but he's actually at no health at all. Kill shot goes through. The shield is there to absorb a portion of it. Breath onto the hunter trying to land a poly. That was a last-ditch poly. That's all he could really do in that situation. The hunter just has so much pressure without even having to have line of sight of the guy. And the Kyrian just removes that line of sight every minute, I think it is. So just if you're in a bad situation with all the cooldowns rolling for the hunter and you try to line aside the pets and then the resonant error comes up and you can't stop the pets at all because he interrupts you, it's just a bad situation to be in. Unstoppable pushing in versus Wolf right now. Lava burst available. Light lasso up. Wolf is going to get hit with a lasso. Feign death coming in. This is going to go for a sipping cup from his carrion friend. The Swolken. Big damage set up for Unstoppable. Could be really bad for Wolf. Does get a self-heal rolling with the pets by the looks of it. Into a stun onto Unstoppable. Has a trinket if he needs to. Wolf does get Resonating Shot rolling. It's going to be immediate wall for Unstoppable. And Wolf does go for a turtle. Into a freezing trap. I don't really know if he needed to go for a turtle here. And I wonder why he went for a turtle. Maybe he was worried about... Was that a trinket on Unstoppable? Unstoppable just did not want to let Wolf get a reset at all. They're just pushing in at the boy. Lightning lasso right after. Wolf not in a great spot. Not really feeling all that good. Does go for a feint. Does massive heal. I think those were Hellstone from the Warlock as well. The Warlock Hellstone was used, I believe, there with acceleration. That is a massive health recovery here. And Unstoppable is just all up in his face. Not letting Wolf go anywhere. Random bursts of damage. I think that might have been a big, maybe lava burst setup. That's what it looked like. Wolf on the defensive. Set up a trap, but looks like the rock boy might walk through it. Ah. And he is trying to at least get frost shocks on the pets, at least trying to keep the pets in line of sight. Wolf catching that camo. Not a clean one. Looks like either him or one of the pets still had a dot. So Unstoppable is clever about it. Clever girl. As long as you have a dot on one of the pets, you cannot go for a full camo as a hunter. You and your pets all have to be clean of any damage over time. And in a tough situation like this one, where you're just trying to survive for your life, that's sometimes hard to track everything. Resonant shot out for Wolf. Does get a trinket for the lasso. Walling up. As Unstoppable expecting the big damage out of Wolf, is going to get some offensives back to back too. Lava Burst should be pretty huge here with a Decimating Bolt. Trying to get a Lava Burst set up. Wolf missing that interrupt. Lava Burst is free. I think it might be over. Big procs with it. Oh my goodness. Big procs with an Earth Shock for Wolf. Took a lot of damage there. Not much you can really do in that situation. Try to Kite Me does go for the interrupt onto the Fleshcraft shield. Trying to reduce the amount of extra absorb as well as DR that Unstoppable gets. But it means Unstoppable is free to cast everything at him. And Try's actually going to take a lot of damage there in Lasso. What was that damage? Has a Zuen available for Unstoppable. That's just looking for survivability. Hex does get interrupted on. Unstoppable got the frost checks in order to get some slows on to try to kite me. Looks like he's going to try to kite him. He's going to take his name and try to test his name, in fact. It looks like Zuen actually gave him a charge for Flesh Cap by the looks of it. Did you see that? There's like a little green shimmer that went into Unstoppable when Zuen like faded. That was interesting. Vibing is going to be up next, but is he vibing against Try to Kite Me? He's going to try to see if he can deal with him. That is a monk. It is quite actually massive when it comes to these duels, dude. Try usually just dominates. I'm pretty sure it's a gladiator monk, man. Fistic Fury for the pet. Just trying to see if he can take out the pet while he's at it. Needs him some healing. Or let's maybe trying to see if we can get the pet to push back. Looks like Vibing is going to go for a bit of damage on to Try to Kite Me. Trying to push in with the Venthyr Door of Shadows. Continue to get those kill shots. Lucky kill shots. Stunner to Try to Kite Me. Does he have enough damage? Tricky coming out for Try. Oh my goodness. Looks like he did not have the karma. Vibing is actually vibing, dude. He's actually vibing. He's actually chilling. And Zeliha might be able to give him a vibe check. Random trap. Does he walk into it? It looked like he was about to walk into it. Oh my god. He actually is vibing, dude. Oh my god. Vibing sitting in a freezer trap. Oh, the rogue caught it. The rogue ate the trap, but he's got a lot of damage too. Oh, the rogue got a lot of damage going up. Shadow Blades and everything available. Vibing doesn't go into Turtle Shell. Rogue goes for advantage. Vibing needs to stop him somewhere or another. Cannot stop him. Looks like the Steel Trap didn't do anything. Freezer Trap is back up. Does eat it. Vibing needs to make sure there's dots or something on the Rogue. Make sure the Rogue does not get reset. Explosive Trap comes out. Kill command goes through it. No more 100% crit for Zella as long as someone is tagging him. As long as there's a pet or someone attacking him, blinds the pet. And Vibing does have a Hunter's Mark on him. Could Cloak of Shadows in order to make sure that he doesn't get spotted. Shadow Strike coming in, didn't even give him a chance. Cloak of Shadows was up ahead of time. Oh my goodness. Yo, Wolf came in with a lot of damage there, dude. That was 700,000 damage as a BM Hunter. Nutty. Nutty. That was actually so good. That was actually so good, dude.